Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for a quick chat on Love is Blind, episode 1. And what did they title the show, y'all, coming on in? What is the title of this first Netflix episode? Oh, they calling it No More Situationships. No more situationships because these folks is tired of situationships out here in the dating world. They saying they want somebody serious. So what they're expecting is they're saying, hey, okay, if you had enough gumption to come on to this show and get married at Love is Blind, then you got to be serious. You're not really here to play no games. Well, I don't know, y'all. I don't know, because the last couple of years we've been seeing a few folks come on here just for the shine. So I guess we're gonna have to pick out a few of them. Now, I know they called the show No Situationships, but I'm going to retitle it. I'm absolutely going to retitle it. And I am retitling this video. I'm going to call it Fake Confidence and Overinflated Egos. Because once again, y'all, we got people on here who think they are finer than they are. Finer than they are. Nick D, for one. Hannah, for number 2. Just a lot of them. And I don't know, what is this an epidemic going on out here where people are overrating themselves? It ain't nothing wrong with being average, people. We can be average out here and we're still worthy for love. We're still worthy to find someone who loves us. We don't have to be like describing ourselves as something that we ain't. Because Hannah, girl, between Hannah, Nick D, and Leo, they're exhausting. Because can the real people show up? Can the real Hannah, can the real Nick D, and can the real Leo show up? Because right now we just getting representatives and everything like that. But anyway, they opened the show with Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Ain't no mountain high enough to keep me away from you, girl. Any of you young people out there don't know that song. Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell. Ain't no mountain high enough to keep me away from you. And we started off with the one couple I do like. There is a couple I like, Ashley and Tyler. I'm going to keep my eye, though, on Tyler. Ashley's 31. She's a marketing director. She out here talking about she's shocked why she's still single. She goes, I don't know why I'm still single. I got everything, and I don't know why I'm single. I like Ashley. She's full of energy. She's bubbly. She's got a little bit of assertive personality. So she definitely got to have a guy who's going to be willing to let her sort of lead, because she definitely likes to lead. No problem. I'm okay with it. But I like Ashley, and looks like she's taken a liking to this Tyler fella, 33. He's a nuclear security person. He likes the outdoors. He likes hiking. He got himself a new puppy, and so far, they're seeming like they have a lot of things in common. Where are we this year? We in Washington, D.C. They both said they like to go skiing. They both want to go skydiving. They both have a love for horses. They both have professionally trained on riding horses. So they both seem outgoing, adventurous. So far, I'm seeing a lot that I like about them. One of the things Ashley asked about was how you feel about me knowing your password to your phone. Basically, I need to keep an eye on you. And are you going to be one of these guys that likes to hide his text and everything else? And I don't know what you're doing out here in these streets, social media, etc. And Tyler had the perfect answer for her. He says, nope, I don't have no problem with it. He says, I don't believe like this is 1948. He started talking about gender roles. He don't have no problem with blurring the gender roles. He says, I cook. I like to cook. I don't think my wife should do all the cooking. I don't think she should do all the cleaning. I wash some dishes. He's like, I'm with it. I am with it. And Ashley was like, I love it. Ashley wasn't giving me the vibes that she necessarily wants to be like a stay-at-home type of wife. And Tyler was basically saying that he likes more, equalness, commonality in the marriage. And she seemed to be okay with it. He let us know that he is of mixed ethnicity. So it looks like he might be half black, half Serbian. So he told a lot of stories about his mom and, how he and his mom, they didn't really say I love you a lot, and you can definitely see that Tyler got some mother wounds. Interesting enough, he didn't mention his dad at all. So he might have wounds on both sides. Because when I say about the mother, what he admired about his mother was that she was hardworking. She worked a lot. And I think that's why he's probably grown up realizing he's got to contribute, because he didn't have a mother that was at home that could just have the luxury of sitting back, have other people do things. He saw his mother working hard. And so he also developed a sort of a hardworking mentality. And but he didn't mention his dad. He didn't tell us yet his dad's story, but he did tell this story about, when his mom lost her mother because she was dying of cancer, that he didn't know how to console her. Her mother was very, very heartbroken over leaving her mother. He also told the story that his mother was sort of, disowned by the family, or at least by her father, because she obviously went off and married or had a baby with a black man, and the Serbian dad was not going for that. So she got disowned by her own family. So here she is all alone, but it sounds like she still had a great love for her mother. And what he talks about was he didn't grow up in a house where people said, "I love you." There weren't a lot of hugs and a lot of kisses. There wasn't a lot of tenderness in the family. And I think what Tyler is looking for is he's looking for some tenderness. He's looking for some tenderness. He's looking for a woman that's going to encourage him, love on him. And he's saying he wants to do the same. And I think Ashley is picking up on it a little bit, because when she gives him compliments, when she says sweet things to him, I think she can feel how he sucks it up. He really needs it. So I think if Ashley is going to be the one for Tyler, then she's going to have to make sure that she's constantly encouraging him. And nothing is wrong with that, because he strikes me as a man with a little bit of hole. He has some wounds in him. He has some wounds in him that need to be nurtured, that need to be taken care of. He says he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I suspect out of the two, between Ashley and Tyler, I'm suspecting that Tyler might be the more sensitive one than Ashley. I'm not saying that Ashley doesn't have any sensitivities. I'm not picking up on any of those vibes, but I do want to say that I sense a lot more of it from Tyler. And so what Ashley would have to know is she's going to have to play that role in his life to give him some of that tenderness. And hopefully she'll be able to do that. But she's smitten by him. Everything he's saying, she loves what he's saying. She loves everything that he's saying. He already running around talking about, you my girlfriend, you my girlfriend. He's running around telling everybody that she the one for him. He said he wants to get married. And he's here to claim her. He said he's claiming her. He told that interesting story when he was sitting down with the fellas, and he said he was trying to tell, I think it was Leo at the time, that you need to maybe do something different, because our old dating techniques haven't worked. That's why we're all here. And he said that Ashley at one time had said, if I had met you on the outside, you would have been a guy that I would have dated. And Tyler said, more than likely that may not have been the case. Tyler is admitting that he sort of has this fear of attachment, although he really wants it. He talks about how in the past, if he didn't think she was attractive, he wouldn't even date her. And if he did think she was attractive, he'd go out with her, but it didn't necessarily mean that he would stay with her. And so he talks about kind of like he's been this guy out in the street, kind of loving him and leaving them. Sort of like, I don't want to call him a playboy, because maybe that's not really the right word to describe it, but he doesn't stick. I think he's acknowledging the fact that he doesn't stick, and that in the outside world, he really has been chasing the wrong thing. He's been chasing looks that are fleeting, and he isn't making that emotional connection, because in a lot of ways, I think he's kind of afraid for the emotional connection. He started saying that this was the first time he felt safe. Well, probably because it's the first time that he's led with his vulnerability versus leading with maybe his looks or his charm. I think on the outside world, he leads with his charm. And so therefore, he doesn't know if the woman is really into him, which would give him that safety and security. But because right now he's actually leading with his vulnerability, he's leading with his true story. and this woman, Tyler, is having a genuine interest in him, he's now feeling that safety that he doesn't normally feel. And so now he's saying, I really don't care what she looks like. But Tyler's a very good looking woman, so I don't think he's going to be unhappy with her looks because she's a very, very, very good looking woman. So I see this going the distance, y'all. I see these two making it. I'm going to put them as one of my front runners as an early proposal. As an early proposal, I see an early proposal coming from Tyler and Ashley. Now, you know, we always got to have a love triangle. We always got to have a love triangle. And the love triangle this episode or this season is going to be between Hannah, Leo, and Nick D. And when it's a quadruple, and then we got to add Brittany in there. Let me tell you something. The minute Nick D came on the screen, I already knew he was faking the funk. And we started to see it towards the end of the episode where he came in first with all this bravado. He was all this charmer. He looked like he picked these lines up from some television show or something, because I could tell it wasn't him. First of all, Nick D, they kept saying, he kept calling himself a football player. Well, most people think of a football player, they think of like big buff guys. The problem is Nick D was a punter. He was a kicker. Those guys tend to be short. They tend to be short. So if any of these girls knew about football, really, if they really paid attention, the kicker or the punter position, typically they're not tall men. They're not tall people. They're shorter men. Or they're not the tall, big, muscular people. And so Nick D likes to use all this bravado and talk. But to be honest with you, Nick D is a little insecure man. Not little because he's small in stature, but he's insecure. And what's so ironic about it is that he has all this big talk, bravado, what works well for him because he is a real estate salesperson, whatever, a realtor. And you know what? He probably could sell people a lot of stuff. He's a smooth talker. He says he's never been in love because he's probably never really presented who he is. He comes off fake in the beginning. But let me tell you, as time started to go on, you start to see the real Nick D. Nick D really does want a partner. Nick D knows out in the outside world, he isn't some big buff football player. Let's stop it, Nick D. He's not like the fine man out there. He's probably not that tall. He doesn't look that tall to me. And so he's acting as if he has his choice of all these women. And then as a result, women are going to be turned off by him. He doesn't want to lead with his vulnerability, but that's probably what he should lead with. Because I do think he has a yearning to be with a woman. I do. Because you could start to see it later on when he started talking to Hannah. Now, the problem with Hannah and Nick D is that they're both kind of alike. Hannah doing the same thing. Hannah over here trying to give a fake impression who she is. Listen, we all know what the stereotype is of a cheerleader. Whether it's a bad stereotype or a good one. Everyone knows what the stereotype is of a cheerleader. And this is what Hannah leads with. First of all, Hannah, why would you say that? Because once again, just like Nick D, you are trying to present an image that's not real. Hannah, you're average. Nothing's wrong with being average. You're just average. So she walking around talking about people only like her because she's hot. Girl, what are you talking about? People only like you because you hot. When she first came on the show, what she actually said was people like her personality, but then when they meet her and she's carrying a few extra pounds, then all of a sudden they're not interested. So now Hannah is leading with the same thing. I think Hannah catfishes a lot of men on social media. She leads with these cheerleader stories. She leads with how hot she is. And then what happens is people are disappointed. They're disappointed because she has raised their expectations so high, and then they're disappointed. When the reality is, Hannah, you could be good just the way you are. You don't need to fake and try to pretend like you're something else. And the funny thing about it is she's over here talking about her looks all the time. I'm a cheerleader. First of all, Hannah, if you were a cheerleader, you were the bottom girl who raised up all the tall girls, the shorter girls. Because Hannah, not only is she more of stature, she's also tall. I know she had on heels, but she looked tall, which means you was the bottom of the pyramid, Hannah. You want the top of the pyramid, but she walking around trying to act like she was the top of the pyramid. What for, Hannah? What for? Why are you doing this? And then now all of a sudden, as she starts to have to choose between Nick D and Leo, she's trying to tell Nick D, well, I don't know if you'll like me because I think you only like me because I'm cute. Well, you're average, Hannah. You're average. And so now what she's trying to do is to control his expectations because she knows she's built it up so much. She's made it seem like she's darn near a supermodel. Now she's backtracking, talking about, well, I'm not really a supermodel. I just want to let you know, and I want to make sure you don't like me. You started it, Hannah. You started it. Nick D and Hannah are a lot alike. They lead out here with this fake ego, this overinflated ego, this fake confidence. And the true reality of it is they both have a lot of insecurities. And now Hannah is trying to control the narrative and making sure that she's judging Nick D for being superficial or possibly superficial, but she the same way. It was just tough to watch, y'all. It was really, really tough to watch. And same thing with this Leo fella. He walking around talking about his biggest worry is that someone's gonna like him only for his money. And the next thing we know, in every conversation, all he's doing is talking about his money. Money. How much money he has, this and that. He's wealthy. He's this, he's that. It's exhausting. Who wants to listen to this all the time? He says that the typical woman he dates is that Brittany girl. He says that's who he typically dates, a Brittany. The one that basically said, you know what? I ain't going to talk bad about Brittany because Brittany's being honest. That's who she is. Now, her problem is going to be finding a man who wants it. That's fine. That's fine, Brittany. You better snag them soon because those guys want young, hot women. And as you start getting in your 30s, Brittany, you're going to find stiffer competition from the 26 years old. So you better snag a rich husband real fast. So Brittany here, she says she don't really want to work. She's not with none of these guys talking about 50-50. That's fine. State your truth. At least she's being real and honest about it. So I can at least say that about Brittany. She ain't coming over here faking the funk. She's like, I'm not going to pretend I want something that I don't want. I'm going to tell you the truth, what I want. She's running around once again talking about how hot she is. And she average too. Is it just me or are these women just average? Is this the new 10s? Am I just off over here? Or are these women just average because they're walking around acting like they're the next Victoria's Secret supermodels? And to me, they're just average. But they're walking around acting like they 10s, talking about what they want and what they deserve. And Leo, he another one leading with his money. He leading with his money because he know he sure can't lead with his looks. When he's out there in the world, he knows he's not going to get a hot chick because he's average too. But so therefore, he's got to talk about all his money so he can possibly attract a really good looking girl. Like he said, his ex-girlfriend was like Brittany. Probably what he's thinking is a really hot, cute looking woman with a high pitched voice, but she's with him because of his money. And he's saying, but he really likes the personality of Hannah. Because he really thinks Hannah's hot too, because that's what she's telling everybody. But he thinks Hannah's down to earth and has better conversation. That's because she's not really a 10. There you go. Brittany running around talking about most of the people she normally dates are athletes and rock stars. She basically saying she's been run through. I don't want to say that's mean. That's mean for me to say that. But basically it means that a lot of men have come and gone in her life because she's a superficial dater. She is a superficial dater and she's looking for a superficial relationship, one in which she's just going to be provided for. Well, you know what? Hey, at least she's honest. At least she's honest. I got to give her that. I'd rather a person be honest than a person to be faking the funk like these other people are doing. She said, you know what? I could seduce any of these men to fall in love with me. Basically, she's saying she knows how to talk the talk. She knows what every man wants to hear, and I'm going to tell them what they want to hear. She says she's good at it. She is good at it. But the problem she ain't good at getting a ring put on it. She's good at seducing men, like she said, to get in bed, to like her for a few days, a few little, rendezvous here and there. But what she hasn't been successful at is getting a man to want to marry her. So she may think that her little game plan works really well, but it only takes her so far. And now here she is. She says she's 32 and she probably been doing this a long time and she hasn't really produced the results that she wants. She better hurry up or she better get a new game plan because her plan ain't working and her plan is short-lived. It really is a short-lived. All the other fellas are saying that there's not a lot of substance to Brittany and they want a lot more from her. They do want a lot more. And this guy, Leo, he says he doesn't want to be loved for his money, but that's absolutely what he wants to be loved with because that's why he keeps bringing it up. Just what he says he doesn't want is what he's actually looking for. Hannah ended up trying to break up with Nick D on the end, And next thing she knows, she figured out she got competition from Brittany with Leo. And now she's like, oh, I made a mistake, because what if Brittany snags Leo and then I'm out here with no man at all? She gonna try to backtrack and go back and get Nick D again. She gonna go backtrack and try to get Nick D again. Is Nick D coming off to be like the Sam fella? Not Nick D. Is Leo kind of coming off to be more like the Sam fella this year, like Love is Blind UK? I don't know. And Leo's over here talking, when he was talking to Hannah, talking about, well, I'm assuming you're white. I thought you couldn't talk about your ethnicity or what you look like. These people are talking so much about looks this time. It didn't used to be like this. And he's like, I like that Hannah didn't really ask about my job. The reason Hannah didn't ask about your job, Leo, is because then she'd have to bring up what she did. And she doesn't want anyone to know that she's unemployed. She's unemployed. She run over here talking about she quit her whole job just so she could come on this show. Once again, that's what I'm talking about. Going through this whole thing to have a facade, a fake front. You know, I didn't like that. The fact that she said, I quit my whole job, but she doesn't want to talk about career because she don't want anybody to know that she's unemployed. Unemployed. And the fact that you quit your job to come on this show, I don't know. Does that even sound, is that impressive? Is that impressive that you quit a whole job to come on the show? I guess she wants us to think that it makes it feel like she's really in it to win it. She's so dedicated to it. But I don't know. To me, it's a bit reckless. And to me, it also starts to scream a little bit more of desperation. And that in that desperation, that's why she's getting up here having a fake front. It's almost like you'll go to any length to get a man. I'll even quit my job to get a man. And here she is doing this here. I'll even present a fake person to you in front just to snag you. Yeah, I'm not feeling Hannah. I'm not feeling her one bit. I may give her a pass because she's young, but I'm not feeling her one bit. And the last couple I want to touch on is the couple with Garrett and what was the other scientific STEM major, Taylor. I actually thought they made a good couple the way that they were talking to each other. And I thought they were really vibing with the little nerdy, geeky thing, because Garrett didn't like Brittany. He knew he needed a woman of a bit more substance. He's a physicist. And he was like, I'm going to need somebody with a little bit more substance to talk about something. So when Taylor came along, I was like, man, this is some good chemistry. Their energy was really good. They were bonding over, chess and just the nerdy part of them and their sort of like interest. And, they were loving the conversation, the connection. And it wasn't until Taylor started bringing up the fact, trying to give him some hints that she looks like she's maybe part Asian or she's all Asian. I don't know. I can't really tell. It looks like she does have some Asian in her. And I was just like, why you bring that up, Taylor? Why did you bring that up? And the minute she brought it up, I didn't like that she brought it up. And then what I also didn't like was the way that Garrett judged her for it. Because what he went to was that, oh, you're so calculated and you're so methodical in your thinking. And what else are you hiding? How did you go there, Garrett? How did you go from, she shouldn't have done it. I don't think she should have done it. But how then did you go from that to all of a sudden describe her as calculating and what else is she hiding? I just thought that was a really, really negative take on what went down. Like I said, I didn't like that she did it, but I understand the reason why she did it, because she's afraid of being rejected because of her ethnicity. I do believe that. I think she feels as if he wouldn't have wanted to date a woman who had any of Asian descent. And she wanted him to know that. And he started saying, well, I do want to tell you that I really have only dated, white girls. And so it was kind of giving me that her real fear is him. So one way I want to say she tried to tell him that she wasn't white because she was afraid that if he likes her for just the conversation and he finds out that she's Asian, he won't like her. And she was looking for some reassurance. But in a lot of ways, what she got was her worst fear, because then he started talking about, well, the only person I ever dated was white girls. Well, why did you say that, Garrett? Ugh. It was a turnoff, y'all. It was really, really a turnoff. So I don't know. I don't know if either of these two are going to be able to turn this around. Is Taylor going to be able to turn it around with Garrett? And is Garrett going to be able to turn it around to Taylor? My gut is saying that Garrett's going to lose interest in her. I think he got turned off, and I don't know if he's going to be able to turn it back on. And the truth of the matter is, I don't know. I don't even know if it should be turned on. Maybe, Taylor, you shouldn't have done it, but maybe because you did it, you got your answer. I don't know. I'm going to have to watch this one, but that was a crash and burn. It started so high. It really did. So promising. And it really did crash real fast, because after that, Garrett started backing up a whole bunch. A whole bunch. And to me, this is about Love is Blind. And I feel like at this point, they've kind of ruined the experiment. And even if, I don't know, I just wish he hadn't said it. I wish he hadn't said it. And I really didn't like his response, the way he judged her for even saying it in the first place. But anyway, that's all I got for episode 1, y'all. Make sure you come back for episode 2. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try to do a video every day, because I only can watch one at a time. And we'll talk about the other couples then. Talk to you later. Bye.